Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to do a forward bend sequence and we're going to utilize the belt in some interesting ways. And before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to like, comment, share, so that these actions contribute to YouTube's algorithm, putting this content in front of other people who are also looking for inspiration for their practice. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. We're going to use a belt, and ideally it's a long belt. If you've got a short belt, you may not be able to use it for the purposes of what we're doing today. You'll still be able to do the practice, but you just won't be using the belt. If you've got two short belts, you can potentially join them together by unthreading one and threading it into the other so that you can create a longer belt. But you see how long my belt is, and I want to use the majority of that belt in some of what we're doing. We're going to start with Supta Padangusthasana number 1 and then do number 2. So that's the reclined big toe pose. But we're going to place this around the mid to upper back. So it's coming around the lower shoulder blades and it's sweeping across the armpits, so that when we lie back, we can place the right heel on the belt and have that right leg straight. Now it depends on how supple you are, the hamstrings particularly, and the hips, your capacity to hinge there, as to whether you will then tighten the belt. So firstly, let's just explore, is that left leg capable of straightening without you bending that right knee? So you can be perhaps not taking yourself to your full extent, or if you wanted to, you can tighten the belt so that you're bringing the leg into more of a flexion. But do work to straighten this knee. So you're pressing right thigh bone away from the chest. You can even use your hand. Right hand pressing on the right thigh. But the pressure of the belt on the heel, you note I've got it on the heel, I haven't got it on the arch, I haven't got it on the ball of the foot. I'm using the pressure of the belt on the heel to reinforce the femur bone, feeding down into the pelvis. Both sides of the pelvis level on the floor. And we could just lay here with the arms out to the sides, press the shoulder tips down towards the floor, allowing the belt to hold the leg. Now, of course, if your belt isn't long enough and you can't manage that, you can put your belt around the foot and hold onto the belt like we often do. So for the next variation, we're going to sweep this right leg out to the side. But what I'd advise is if you make sure this belt is up high, because when you take the leg out, the belt's going to pull tightly across your chest, and you certainly don't want to be feeling uncomfortable if you've got breasts. You don't want to squash them. So take that belt up higher, and then you take your leg out. And so you see the belt there is coming above the left breast, and the heel still pushing into the belt pulling on the heel, reinforcing that femur bone into the pelvis. And then keep your right sitting bone drawing back across to the left groin. Arms can stretch out wide. So right sitting bone moving across to the left groin, inner left thigh rolling down. As you stretch your left arm out along the floor, pin your left shoulder down, turn your left chest, turn your left abdomen away from the right leg. So the tightness of the belt may be inhibiting, or maybe giving you the feeling that your leg action is inhibited somewhat. That's okay, let's work with that. I could use the word restrained instead of inhibited, so offering some restraint. Keep the left thigh pressing down, then inhale. Raise the leg back up again. The belt might need to move over the heel as you do that. And let's swap legs. So we take the left heel up into the belt, push the heel. Again, make sure it's the heel, it's not the arch, it's not the ball of the foot. So then the pressure of the belt on the heel is reinforcing that femur bone into the pelvis. Straighten the knee. So you can start with the right leg bent, just to feel into the positioning of the belt, the straightening of the left leg. Use your left hand on your left thigh, press the left thigh away from the chest, and then go to straighten that right leg. So you're pressing right thigh down, and then you can let the arms come down onto the floor, shoulder tips to the floor. But keep both legs active, kneecaps gripped, quadriceps active. And you're rolling inner right thigh down, pressing head of the left thigh away from the chest. Breathing smoothly. Then as we prepare to take the leg out to the side, I realise I'm quite close to the wall, so I'm going to scoot myself off to the right side just a little bit more. And make sure that your belt is high up, right up into those armpits, so that when you take your leg out, the heel might need to slide a little bit on the belt. That belt's sitting above the breast, above the chest. And then we can stretch the arms out, shoulder height, pin your right shoulder down. Press the right thigh down. So the counteractions to the movement of that leg, the left leg, are to keep right thigh down, broadening the pelvic abdominal area, peeling right pelvic bone away from the left groin, turning your navel to the right, keeping the back of the right rib cage close to the floor, touching the floor if possible, right shoulder down. But as you're feeling the pressure of the belt on the heel, that's reinforcing this femur bone, left femur bone into the pelvis. And so then feel that you're moving your left sitting bone to the right inner thigh. So you're narrowing the pelvic floor as you do that. Inhale, raise the leg up. And you might find the heel needs to slide a little bit on the belt as you bring that leg back up. And then we can remove the foot from the belt. And let's just have a rest for a moment. Let go, arms and legs. Don't worry about the belt for now. Then we can come to sit. So bend your knees, roll over, and come up. We're still going to use this long belt. Let's use it for Parsvottanasana. So come to stand and make sure you know where the tail of the belt is. That's going to go, so the buckle is coming to the outer right hip as you step your right leg through the loop of the belt. Then the left heel will come to stand on the other end of that loop. So you keep the heel pressing the belt down and you'll stride the right leg forward, but do make sure your buckle's actually coming to the outer hip. Stride the right foot forward and just check this belt might want to slip into the arch. Keep it on your heel. So when you take your right leg forward, again, just orient the buckle so it's coming more to the outer hip. Take a long stride and then you might want to pull on the tail to shorten the belt, but also to roll the outer right hip back. So outer right hip rolls back as you pull on the tail of the belt. Hands on the waist. Lift your chest, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Now, as you hinge forward, you might feel the belt slackens a little bit. So pull on the tail, tighten it, and that should help you roll the outer right hip back. As you're rolling outer right hip back, pressurize the inner right foot down. And then fingertips to the floor, or you could use bricks under your hands if you feel stiff. Lengthen the front body. Breastbone lengthens forward away from the navel. Bring your spine parallel to the floor if possible, rather than rounding the back. So as the breastbone lengthens forward, the spine becomes straight. Then if you can go further, you can walk your hands back towards the left foot and keep the left heel plugging into your belt. And then potentially you can flatten your palms, or you can keep your hands on your bricks and bring yourself along the leg. So you're feeling the pressure of the belt on your left heel, outer left hip forward, and feeling the pressure of the belt on the upper right thigh, outer right hip back. And then we come up. So come onto the fingertips, lift the head, hands to the waist, inhale, stand up. And then we might want to loosen that a little bit and step out of the pose. Let's do the other side. So now the tail will be to the left. It will be facing out to the left side, and you'll step your left leg through the belt. and your right heel onto the other end of that loop. So make sure it's the heel, it's not the arch. Step right leg back, and as you stride left leg forward, the buckle's on the outer hip, and then you can tighten. So as you're tightening, that's helping to roll the outer hip back. Pressurize the inner left foot down, hands to the waist. Inhale. Exhale, you hinge forward. And so then as you come forward, you might feel there's a little bit of slackness that comes into the belt. So you might like to pull on the tail again, tightening the belt and rolling the outer left hip back. Make sure the inner left foot stays pressed into the floor. Sometimes we roll that outer hip back and the inner left foot starts to lift. So squeeze the outer left ankle bone to the inner ankle bone, fingertips to the floor. Lengthen your breastbone forward. So you're encouraging the length on the front body, but you're also encouraging the straightness of the spine. Then if you've got further to go, you can walk your hands back, potentially flatten the palms, lengthen your abdomen, your chest over the left leg, forward to shin. Maintain the action of the quadriceps, the gripping of the kneecaps. And you feel the pressure of the belt on the right heel as the outer right hip moves forward, the pressure of the belt on the left hip as the outer left hip rolls back. Then raise the head up, come back onto the fingertips, hands to the waist. Inhale, stand up, and you can loosen that a little bit and step out of the pose. So again, we're going to use the belt now for Prasarita Padottanasana. So I've taken the buckle all the way to the end of the belt, just making sure the buckle is not going to be on your foot, so you can put the buckle in the middle of the loop. And then let's put the belt around the arches of the feet and take the legs wide. So we'll start with standing, but I have taken my heels to the back edge of the mat. I do that because I like to know that both feet are in the same line. Sometimes if we work with the feet in the middle of the mat, there could be a tendency for one foot to be a little further forward than the other, and that's going to play into the hips, it's going to play into the spine when we come forward. So let's feel the belt there, press the outer feet down, roll the shoulders back and down, inhale. Exhale, come forward. Spine parallel to the floor, and really hit the feet. Hit those outer feet into the belt, ideally encouraging the activation and the lift of the arches of the feet, the inner arches. Then fingertips to the floor. Lengthen the front body. Draw the breastbone forward away from the navel. Then if you've got further to go, you can flatten the palms, you can walk the hands back. Now we know the belt's there, so that could feel like it's in the way, but let's just set the hands on the floor in front of the belt. Press the hands into the floor, bring your head down. Maybe you scoop the hands between the two levels of the belt there, so the heels of the hands can come into the same plane, the same line as the heels of the feet. Whether the crown of the head touches the floor or not doesn't necessarily matter, because we're working with a particular width in the feet. It's potentially constrained because of the width of the belt. But let's now shift the hands to catch the outer ankles. Draw your shoulder blades up the back. And go on hitting the outer feet into the belt, making sure the belt is taut. Then we start to come out of the pose. So lift the head, fingertips back to the floor, lengthen the breastbone forward. Hands to the waist. Inhale, stand up. And step out of the pose. Now, let's use the belt. We can narrow the loop a little, and we'll narrow it more as we come into this next variation or next posture. We're going to do Uttanasana, and this is going to go around the back thighs and the mid-back. So to put this on, I'm going to already start to come into Uttanasana. I'm going to have the feet apart. I'm going to fold forward, knees bent, and I'll put the belt, the loop, over the buttocks. So it comes around the buttocks, under the thighs, and around the spine. Then I want to tighten this. And so then as I'm tightening it, I want to feel that it's starting to embrace the back of the thighs, but I want to pull it down a little more, closer to the shoulder blades. And so then I'm going to keep tightening. Just make sure the buckle is not on your skin. You don't want to pinch your skin. And as you tighten, slowly straighten your knees and keep tightening. So it might help you to bend the knees as you tighten. Bring your body right in against the thighs. So can you get your abdomen and your ribs against your thighs? Tighten the belt and then work to straighten. Now that might be really tricky. You might have to loosen the belt again. But as you straighten, the thighs will press back into the belt and the belt will pull your body into the legs. Catch behind the ankles. So you're drawing yourself down, but also in to the legs, along the legs and into the legs. But press your thighs strongly back into the belt. Open the back of the knees. Broaden the back of the thighs. And then let's take care as we come out. We're going to see if we can keep the belt there, because we're going to come straight down onto the floor for Paschimottanasana. You might want to loosen it just a little bit. Use your fingertips on the floor. Come to sit down. So we'll feel hemmed in a little bit, but we're going to slide the heels away from us and we'll bring the legs together, which then might mean we can pull the belt tighter again. So again, make sure the buckle's not on your skin. I've got it here next to my armpit chest, and as I tighten, the buckle will come closer to my right thigh. So sliding the heels away, and as I come down, I'm not quite straightening the legs. I want to tighten the belt here with my knees bent so that I'm bringing my body in against the thighs. So abdomen, ribs, chest to the thighs, and I pull. As I slide the heels away from me, I pull on the belt. I want to tighten the belt to keep that hip flexion and the closure there between the front body and the thighs. Pressing the thighs down into the belt, and then I can reach, catching one wrist with one hand if possible, or maybe you're catching the feet. But we want to lengthen the abdomen over the thighs, and potentially the forehead can come to rest. Slow your breath down. And go on working your thighs down into the belt, in towards the floor. If you've got one wrist with one hand, swap. So you're catching the other wrist with the other hand. Elbows are restraining or resisting away from the floor. Upper arms are feeding back into the shoulder joints. Shoulder blades are moving down the back towards your hips. Then we come out. So raise the head up. Of course, you won't be able to lift very high. So let's remove that, or loosen, or unclip your belt. You take the belt off. Come to sit. And let's just sit for a moment. Dandasana. Fingertips to the floor. Work your thighs down. And we'll finish up from there. If you enjoy practicing with me, I invite you to check out the video library on my website. It's a subscriber-based video library with over 430 full-length classes, and I add a new class every week. heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. I invite you to start your subscription with a 7-day free trial. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.